Thank you for joining us today. We're having our webinar on National Child Exploitation Prevention Programming. The Children's Safety Network is sponsoring the webinar today, and we are sponsored by the Health Resources and Services Administration of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services under the Child and Adolescent Injury and Violence Prevention Resource Centers Cooperative Agreement with 0% finance with non-governmental sources. This information or content and conclusions are those of the author and should not be construed as the official position or policy of, nor should any endorsements be inferred by HRSA, HHS, or the U.S. government. I'd like to turn it over to Caitlin now for some technical tips.
Hi everyone, welcome. I have a few tips for you today. So first, the quality of your audio depends on the speed of your internet connection. So if the audio is choppy, please find a more stable internet connection or listen over the phone by dialing one of the phone numbers found in the Zoom invitation. All participants are muted, but you can submit questions throughout the event. And you can do that using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and we'll address those questions in the discussion portion of our webinar later on. For captions, please use the caption button at the bottom of your screen. Sometimes that's within the More icon, which is 3 dots at the bottom of your screen. We will be sharing resources, the recording and slides within the next 2 weeks. These will be posted to our website for you to access as well. Thank you, and back to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Caitlin. I'm Jennifer Leonardo. I serve as the director of the Children's Safety Network at Education Development Center and as the co-chair of the National Children's Safety Now Alliance. I'm excited to welcome our speakers and to have everybody here with us today. February 10th is Safer Internet Day. It's a global day of action celebrated by over 100 countries to raise awareness of internet safety and to empower young people, families, communities, and organizations to build their knowledge and skills so that we may all use technology responsibly, critically, and creatively. I now welcome our first presenter, Special Agent Britney Hays. Special Agent Hays currently holds the position of Assistant Special Agent in charge within the Forensic Services Division, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. In this role, she oversees 200 collateral duty employees who serve as Secret Service ambassadors for the agency's child safety outreach programs, and acts as a United States Secret Service liaison to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. She cultivates relationships with Department of Homeland Security components, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Defense, and state and local agencies to coordinate and offer forensic and technical support for missing and exploited child cases. Secret Agent Hays began her career as a uniformed division officer in the United States Secret Service in 2006. She moved on to administrative, professional, and technical staff in 2009 in the Los Angeles field office, and finally began her special agent journey in 2015 at the Washington field office. In Washington, she became certified as a physical training coordinator. She was assigned to the Electronic Crimes Task Force and conducted mobile wireless investigations, which involved assisting local law enforcement with finding individuals in possession of cellular devices associated with criminal activity or missing persons. Secret Agent Hays became a Forensic Services Division National Center for Missing and Exploited Children ambassador in 2018, which ignited her passion for teaching minors about internet safety and how to avoid exploitation and online violence. Britney volunteered to serve her country for 20 years in the Ohio Air National Guard as a reservist. She retired as a Master Sergeant in 2023. She has simultaneously dedicated approximately 18 years to public service in federal law enforcement, all within the United States Secret Service. She holds a bachelor's degree in Family and Consumer Sciences from Mount Vernon Nazarene University and an MBA from American Military University. I will now introduce Senior Forensic Interview Specialist for Homeland Security Investigations, Ali Levy, and Forensic Interview Specialist with the Department of Homeland Security, Rene Young. Ali Levy was instrumental in planning and preparing for this webinar, but she is unable to join us today. She is a Senior Forensic Interview Specialist for Homeland Security Investigations and is currently detailed to the Department of Homeland Security Know to Protect campaign as a campaign advisor and subject matter expert. Ms. Levy is a licensed social worker and holds her master's in social work and forensic psychology. She has worked in the area of child abuse and exploitation since 1998. In 2009, Ms. Levy became the first forensic interview specialist for Homeland Security investigations and established the Homeland Security Investigations Forensic Interview Program. She works with all victims of crime, children and adults, focusing on child exploitation and abuse, human trafficking, traveling child sex offender crimes, female genital mutilation, human rights violations, and war crime victims. Ms. Levy travels domestically and internationally, conducting forensic interviews and trainings in both English and Spanish. I now welcome our second presenter today, forensic interview specialist with Department of Homeland Security, Rene Young. Rene currently interviews victims and witnesses, both child and adult, of the crimes of child exploitation, sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, labor trafficking, female genital mutilation, and many more crimes. In addition to her role as a forensic interview specialist, Ms. Young is currently assigned to the Department of Homeland Security's Know to Protect campaign to bring awareness and stop online sexual abuse, exploitation, and abuse. Prior to her career with Homeland Security, Rene was a police officer with the city of Burlington, Vermont for 14 years. Rene was assigned as a detective with the Chittenden Unit for Special Investigations for her last 7 years on the force, investigating all crimes sexual in nature, internet crimes against children, trafficking, serious child abuse, and child homicides. Rene has also worked with internet crimes against children for over a decade as an investigator, undercover chatter, and outreach specialist. Thank you, Special Agent Hays and Forensic Interview Specialist Rene Young, for being with us today. As a reminder for all webinar attendees, please enter your questions into the Q&A chat throughout the webinar. We will answer them at the end. I would like to hand it over to Special Agent Hays now.
Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so much to the Children's Safety Network for having us. It's such a pleasure to be here alongside our counterparts, HSI. Again, my name is Britney Hays, and when I go into schools or I speak to parent groups, my usual shtick is throw my sunglasses on and I say, hey, you know the Secret Service protects the president, the vice president, former presidents, but do you know that we also protect children? Well, that usually gets a couple laughs out of the kiddos or from the parents, but we have been in this space since 1994. Next slide, please. So as you can see here, a real quick history lesson. Since 1994, on the passing of the Omnibus Crime Bill Act, the Secret Service was authorized to provide forensic and technical support to state, local, tribal law enforcement agencies across the country, and at the request of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So as you can see, a couple years later, we're one of the first federal agencies to be co-located at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And then you can see here in 2003, our authority was expanded so that we can assist investigatively in these types of exploitation and missing child cases. So at present day, the Secret Service can assist forensically, technically, and investigatively at the request of any state, local, tribal, or at the request of NCMEC to work these type of cases. The next slide is going to portray a video that highlights the importance of the relationship of the United States Secret Service with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Everybody thinks the Secret Service is, protection, protecting the president, vice president, black suit, sunglasses, earpiece, but a lot of people don't realize that we also protect our children.
I feel like the public really thinks about the Secret Service and they think about the protection detail. The Secret Service does so much more in communities to keep children safe. They work with our organization not only to bring technical resources in the search for missing children, but they also go into communities bringing our safety and prevention messages to the children themselves and really forming strong bonds within a community.
The Secret Service leverages the resources from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children because they're recognized as the leading authority in child safety and prevention. The Secret Service ambassadors are trained by those safety experts, and that's to ensure that the highest quality and standards for our outreach programs are being delivered into the community.
It's very personal for me doing this type of work. Naturally, every parent wants their children to be safe. So just having two daughters growing up, I used this ambassador opportunity as just a chance to apply what I know at home.
It's so rewarding and fulfilling to walk in and see their eagerness and their excitement, and just be able to help them and support them in any way that I can.
I am able to talk to community members and parents, and they are seeking answers to questions that they do not know how to answer. So it's fulfilling to explain to them what we do and the programs that we offer.
We're not there to scare children, we're not there to scare parents, we're not there to scare teachers. It's just saying hey, these are the threats, this is how to better educate, these are the resources out there to protect. So we kind of bridge all those gaps and bring everything together.
I love being an ambassador. It is incredibly gratifying to be able to go to talk to these kids. They're always so enthusiastic, and that part I really enjoy. It's a job that I hate that I have to do it, but I love that I get to do it. And that's the part that I think gives me a lot of joy.
As a parent, you want to keep your kids safe. And so I always keep that in the back of my mind. When I'm up there, I want them to see how much I care, and I want them to get something out of a presentation that they can take with them.
The Secret Service has amazing resources, really remarkable technology that they're able to bring to local and state law enforcement agencies who need help in searching for missing children.
Like we have a no-fail mission for protection, no-fail mission for our partnership with NCMEC as well.
Whether it be handwriting analysis, whether it be photo or imagery enhancement, they're able to bring their skills and their unique resources to communities that otherwise wouldn't have them. It's been really critical in helping us identify children as well as bring missing kids home.
Child exploitation and abuse continues to grow. The responsibility to protect children is shared broadly among schools, communities, and law enforcement. Every child deserves a safe childhood, and the Secret Service is committed to making that a reality.
Great, thank you. The Childhood Smart program is the Secret Service brand to be in this prevention and education space to help protect our youth from online exploitation and abduction. So while we do provide presentations for K through 12, as you can see here in the slide. My portion today is going to really focus on K through 5 and our elementary school resources that we have to offer. NCMEC statistics show that perpetrators are attempting to reach our children at prepubescent ages. So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, along with the Secret Service, really value getting into these elementary school grades. Next slide, please. So here you see NetSmarts is the curriculum that NCMEC provides, and it's all based on internet safety. The program is designed so that our ambassadors have age-appropriate language, that when we go into schools and we're talking to children, that we talk to them in an age-appropriate manner. And we're empowering them to speak up when they encounter something maybe online that makes them feel sad, scared, or confused. We can go and we can talk to them about what to do, what physically they can do, or if they can go find a trusted adult. Another thing I'd like to highlight about NetSmarts and their curriculum, most of their materials are also available in Spanish. Next slide. So as you can see here from this slide, NetSmarts offers a plethora of resources. Again, NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, creates all of this in-house. As you can see, we're out giving these presentations, but you can see that they also have videos, online games, just ways to reiterate at home. If you have children at home or even in the classroom, you can watch a video, hey, here's the underlying theme that we need to be safe online. Or if a child loves to play video games, you can play an online game through NetSmarts that teaches your child essentially internet safety. And I do want to highlight the website at the bottom, necmic.org/NetSmarts, and that's where you're going to be able to find all of these different resources. Next slide. We love Into the Cloud. Into the Cloud is a most recent video series for elementary students. There are 3 seasons with about 6 episodes each, and each episode is about 5 minutes long. So you can see here we've got interactive characters Clicky, Nettie, and Webster, and they all bring very age-appropriate messaging to teach students how to stay safe online. Next slide. So when I go and I do talk to parents, a lot of the times they will ask me, how do I start having these conversations with my children on internet safety? It's hard enough just to have conversations like, hey, what did you do at school today? And you get a 1-word answer, but they actually make it parent proof or teacher proof. They provide guides, they provide tip sheets, they have information sheets just to start having these conversations. And when I present, I emphasize that communication to parents, no software, no monitoring software or tools are actually going to catch everything that your child is exposed to. So we want to emphasize that communication. Here's this example of a discussion guide. And then when I'm talking to students, I emphasize that communication, but also finding a trusted adult that they can talk to if they see something that makes them feel sad, scared, or confused online. Next slide, please. Here's a quick sample of Into the Cloud, so you get a little taste of the different characters.
And enjoy the show while 2 young kids stranded all alone try to save the internet so they can get back home. Into the cloud, facing the unknown. Into the cloud, can't do it alone. Oh
See, even as an adult, you can tap your toe to that little intro. So real quick, again, the Secret Service today is focusing on the importance of our elementary school students and getting this prevention material to them. But we do additionally have middle school, high school, and parent guardian advanced NetSmarts curriculum as well. Next slide, please. The next thing we'd like to highlight is a curriculum called KidSmarts. This provides an opportunity for our ambassadors not only to talk about internet safety, but to talk to our children about personal safety. And this is geared again at grades K through 5. And throughout the KidSmarts curriculum, there are 4 rules that are emphasized, as you can see here. Check first, take a friend, tell people no, and tell a trusted adult. Next slide. Again, so many resources to be had, and these are more geared towards personal safety, but a lot of enrichment items that you can choose from, whether you're a parent, an educator, a coach. Again, we've got these presentations, activity sheets, videos, just to reinforce what your presenter came into the classroom to talk about. I love lesson plans for teachers here as well. And then on the next slide, we also have a quick sample of what a KidSmarts video might look like.
We need to get the keys of the city back from the overlords.
Got it. Now we gotta make it back to headquarters.
You guys said we'd go to the park an hour ago. Come on. The park. Remember? Hello?
Yeah, the park. We'll go in a sec.
Fine. I'll just go by myself.
Hey, you can't go by yourself.
Yeah, you should always take a friend.
Take a friend? Why?
It's just like in Heroes Alliance.
Great. Super fun and super interactive for those kiddos in grades K through 5. So switching gears here, we've got our Operation Safe Kids. This is an outreach program that the Secret Service founded back in 1996. It is where we'll take our fingerprint machines that we have into the community, into our local community, and we'll attend events such as National Night Out, maybe a AAA baseball game, maybe just a community event that's happening within a local city. And we'll take our fingerprint machines, we'll get a consent form from the parents to sign, and then we'll take fingerprints of the children, we'll take a photo, and we'll hand back a document or a USB to the parent and say, we hope this never happens, but if your child is to go missing, you have this biographical data that you can save. But for us as ambassadors, as we're interacting with the kiddos, we're making it fun. We're asking them, hey, what do you do to stay safe online? Or tell me what you know about the Secret Service. How can you protect yourself if you feel that you've seen something that makes you feel sad, scared, or confused? Who's your trusted adult? So we really love our Operation Safe Kids. It's kind of like our OG outreach program, and we do this across the country. If we'll show you ways here in a minute on how you can reach out to us for this outreach program. Next slide. And as I'm getting close to the end here, I would be remiss if I didn't give the shout out to our Secret Service ambassadors, who are essentially force multipliers for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We're trained by their personnel, and we continuously receive enrichment training from the National Center on the latest trends and things that they're seeing. As the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is the clearinghouse nationwide on exploitation and missing children. And another shout out to our employees. This is a collateral duty. As I'm sure many people in the prevention space, you've got your daytime job and you've got what you're doing in your volunteer life. So this is a collateral duty for our agents, our uniform division officers, our administrative, professional, and technical folks. You could be standing post at the White House one day on a Monday, and on Tuesday, you're in a classroom talking to kids about keeping them safe online. Next slide. All right, I think this is going to be available in the chat that you can take back to your local community, but this is a one-pager co-branded by the Secret Service and NCMEC. It's kind of a one-stop shop about all of the things that we've been mentioning so far today. As you can see, there's a QR code for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, their website, and that's where you can download all of those free resources. I had an ambassador once say, I want to start a bluegrass movement where we are starting, or we're reporting the things that are happening to our children. So you can see a QR code for the cyber tip line. That's where you're going to go if you as a parent or an educator see something online that shouldn't be exposed to our children. You can report a cyber tip there. More information on emerging trends such as sextortion or generative AI. Also, I'd like to highlight the Take It Down QR code, because if you have a child that already may have an explicit image out there and they don't know what to do, this is something that NCMEC created, that a child can kind of take back ownership. They can take back control over a situation that may seem daunting to them. Next slide. And as I'm wrapping up my time here, I just wanted to give you all this QR code. This is going to take you to our external Secret Service website, where we have our Forensic Services Division, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children website. It's going to give you more information of the history of why we're in this space. It's going to give you another link to NCMEC's homepage. And then there's going to be a place where you can request events from us. So we do have ambassadors across the country. We also are available for virtual webinars such as what you're attending today. So you just fill out that web form and tell us a little bit about yourself, the group, maybe it's Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or Scouting Across America, 4-H, if it's in a classroom, a church youth group, whoever, any child serving organization, we would love to come and talk to them about how to keep our kids safe online. And that's all from the Secret Service. So Jennifer, I'd love to throw it back over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Special Agent Hayes. What an informative presentation, and we appreciate all the resources that you have shared. A reminder to our audience, please enter your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen. We will be compiling all of those questions and getting to those at the end of this webinar. And now I would like to turn it over to Forensic Interview Specialist Rene Young.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. So I am Rene Young, and I'm here to represent DHS's No to Protect campaign. Our tagline is "Together we can stop online child exploitation," and this webinar today is a perfect example of this. Next slide, please. So this is a real motivation slide for us. This is a quote from Brian Montgomery. He lost his son Walker, who had just turned 16, to death by suicide after being victimized in a sextortion scam. This happened very quick. It happened overnight. Walker had just gotten his license, spent the day with his parents, worked in the family barn, and that night when he went to bed, sometime after midnight, he was contacted online, and it happened so fast. And his father has joined forces with us, and he wants to raise awareness about the dangers out there for our kids. Next slide, please. So this is just a quick look at fiscal year 25. We had 6,488 child victims that we recovered here at Homeland Security. We had more than 1,660 convictions, and there was 4,805 individuals that were arrested for online crimes against children. Next slide, please. So this is kind of a story behind the numbers. We saw a dip in the tips, the cyber tips that were reported online, from 36.2 million to 20.5 million between 2023 and 2024. This decline is not due to it happening less, but there is a couple of different factors here. Number one, we had some platforms that were not reporting things as they should. Next, we saw bundled reporting. So this is if you had a widespread incident or a viral type meme, things like that. Instead of individually reporting each one of those incidents, it was bundled into one, again, causing the decrease in tips reported. And another thing that we saw was an increase in end-to-end encryption, which would not make us able to detect and report these. Next slide, please. So this is a quote from one of our agents in HSI Seattle, and it really just breaks it down. We have our kids, they're in a virtual playground, and just like we're good at our jobs, whether it's Homeland Security or Secret Service or anybody working in this space, the bad guys and bad girls out there are professionals at what they're doing, and they are going where they know the kids can be found, and they're moving them to more sinister platforms or potentially trying to meet them in person. So again, this is why it's going to take all of us to combat these crimes. Next slide, please. So this is our in-person internet safety program. It's called Project iGuardian, and there is no group too small or too large for us to come and speak to. We have spoke at churches, at schools, neighborhoods, 4-H clubs, anything like that. We will come out. It's also really important to highlight this is free. You can have us come out, and there's never going to be any cost for us to come and do these in-person presentations. We have them in both English and Spanish, and we're currently working with translation services to get it in a variety of other languages. And a really special thing about our iGuardian presentations is those of us that are working these crimes, whether it's a special agent, a forensic interview specialist like myself, our victim assistance specialists who are like advocates, we are the ones going out and giving these presentations. So it's, we're able to share experiences. We're weaving in local case examples just to show them this isn't just a movie. It's not, something you're going to see out there. It's happening in our own backyards, and we can kind of weave those examples in. Next slide, please. So these are our iGuardian characters. So I want you to think the McGruff taking a bite out of crime, or Smokey the Bear, only you can prevent forest fires. We hope someday that our iGuardians can be as iconic, and we have them broken up into a couple of different spaces. We have our special agents, Larissa and Jesse. We have our iGuardian, Mr. Emmett, who is like a school counselor. We have Penny Peace, who is the peer. But most importantly, our most famous and most popular iGuardian is HSI Captain Canine Mojo. And Mojo is an electronic sensing dog, and he is actually based off a retired ESD dog here in Vermont that I work closely with. And who doesn't love a dog? So he always brings a lot of happiness and lightheartedness to the programs. Another thing that we do with our iGuardian presentations is we try to find local ESD canines through our rescue, and we like to have them show up at our iGuardian presentations if it's a space where a dog would be welcome. Again, it's going to kind of lighten the mood. Who doesn't like a dog? But they also will do a little demo and show how these amazing canines work. Next slide, please. So here is how we break down our presentation types. I know Brittany focused on the younger ones today, and that's when we want to partner with NCMEC and Secret Service for those younger groups. But we have parent, we have teen, and we have tween iGuardian presentations. All of them are developmentally appropriate. We make sure that everything works for the groups that we're speaking to. Myself and my colleague, Allie, that they introduced at the beginning, we kind of fine tune these on a regular basis to make sure everything fits the proper development for each group. Next slide, please. So this is a breakdown of what you're going to see on a parent iGuardian presentation. We are not just educating on the risks out there. We're talking to the groups about how to handle them, how to respond to them, what should happen if this is going on in your house. And again, we're talking about the different risks at different ages and how to respond to that. We're talking about what you can find on the web, whether it's the surface, the deep, or the dark. How well do you know what your child is doing? We're going to walk them through certain things like parental controls, shutting off location, different apps, and where you can find these. We also have resources, just like our iGuardian presentations, that are free and they're accessible on our site. And one of them is different QR codes for the most popular apps that our kids are using and how to get into the parental controls. So it makes it really easy. It's at your fingertips and you don't have to go digging for them. And throughout the presentations, we also have our tips to protect. So once we cover one section, we'll kind of break it down into those tips. And again, you can always get all of these tips and resources for free on notoprotect.gov. Next slide, please. So the teen presentations, we're not doing this in a lecture or we're here to scare you type of way. We want to have a conversation in all of our presentations, but especially when we're speaking to the younger crowds, are going to be conversational. We want them to be interactive. One of the things I do when I'll go out into the communities, because we know kids don't want to be the first ones to raise their hand. They might not want to ask the first question. We do send out preparation materials to whatever group we're speaking to. And I always ask that they have the kids maybe write down a question that they have, and I will address those questions throughout or at the end of my presentation. So then I'm honoring the questions that might be out there, and then it might get more hands raising. But again, we're looking at some of those heavy hitters that are affecting our kids. Sextortion, whether it's financial or traditional, what happens when you send your photos and videos. And again, what happens if this happens to you? We really focus on exit strategies because people will know what these crimes are. They know that they're occurring, but what happens if it happens to you, and how do you react from there on out? And again, we're going to weave those tips to protect throughout our presentations to kind of break down the most important heavy-hitted parts of that. Next slide, please. And just like the teens, the tweens, again, super interactive. We're kind of doing question and answer. We want that back and forth. We don't want to just sit there and lecture them. We want them to be involved in the presentation, and we'll see it all the time. Once one person starts engaging, you're going to see all the hands pop up, and we make sure, like I said before, we're weaving in local case examples for all of the presentations, just so people know they're not alone. This is stuff that's happening everywhere. We also talk at the end, we do a conversational quiz. Again, we're not testing them. It's not scary. It's not meant to be intimidating. It's interactive, and we really work on getting our crowds engaged. And the presenters that are going out and giving the iGuardians are presenters that want to be doing this. They're volunteering for it. I know Secret Service, Brittany was talking about it, is a collateral duty. It's the same thing for when you're giving Project iGuardians. So they want to be there and they really want to engage the crowds. Next slide, please. So we are making sure that all of our resources, but also all of our presentations, are showing the latest threats and trends. We'll always kind of get a laugh if you are outdated or have anything that's kind of dusty. The kids are going to be the first ones to call you out on it, and they might giggle at you, but we're not going there. We're making sure everything's fresh, everything's based off trends that we're seeing in the field, and we're constantly meeting to update our slides in the presentations as well as the resources that we're providing for our communities on our site. And this is just an example with the Gen AI and what we're seeing out there with trends with the creation of CSAM. Next slide, please. This is kind of a breakdown of our impact, and I always like to have everybody focus on the two lower numbers kind of in orange there, investigative leads and victim disclosures. This is just in fiscal year 25. So when I say investigative leads, that is during or at the end of our presentation, somebody is giving us a lead that we need to follow up on in an online exploitation case. And next is disclosures. That's 87 people came up and made a disclosure about being exploited online. This is why it's so important for us to get out in our communities. This is why we want to make sure that it's somebody that wants to be doing the presentation and that has that good kind of interaction with the crowd, because it could be the first time that these audiences are having access to someone like us that they can come forward to. Next slide, please. So again, we're going to go down to these bottom numbers because I feel like they are the most important to focus on. So from October 23 to November 25, we engaged with 235,000 people. This is parents, trusted adults, teens, and kids. This is huge, and we want to keep growing these numbers. We did 2.7 thousand presentations, both nationally and internationally. And then we see those leads and disclosures again, which are, again, the two most important numbers to me. We are giving our communities access to people that can then go and follow up on either a lead or a disclosure. Next slide, please. This is just some pictures from iGuardian presentations. Again, like I said, there is no group too large, too small. We will get out there. We will do it for free. We can speak at conferences, but then again, we can speak to the small neighborhood group. We have lots of fun swag. We have some of our iGuardian cutouts there, and we really try to make everything very, very interactive, whether it is us presenting at a conference or in one of our smaller community groups. Next slide, please. This is just an impact overview. So at the end of our presentations, we kind of have, a quality control type survey to see how people feel about it, what they're taking away. And I just like to read one of the quotes that people left in that survey. So as a parent, it hits home. My kids are younger, but are on the brink of utilizing the internet more and more. So I'm glad I got this information in time. I am hoping this is getting to schools as it is so important. So we ask for that feedback. And again, this is stuff that could help us tweak our resources or our presentations, because we always want to see how the community is feeling about our presentations. Next slide, please. This is how you can request an iGuardian training. Again, free. You can get us at iGuardianHQ@hsi.dhs.gov, and they will farm it to the appropriate local presenter, and we will get someone out there. And again, I think it's really important that we are using local presenters. So not only is it people that are working these cases, but it's somebody that's working cases in that community. It's a friendly, familiar face maybe, or it's a face that can be now friendly and familiar to them. Next slide. And you can get our QR code right here. It will take you to notoprotect.gov. That's our overall website where you can get all those resources. Just like our presentations, our resources and everything we offer is broken down by the different developmentally appropriate groups, whether it's parents, trusted adults, teens, tweens, and there on out, they're all on there. We'd love to connect with you. We are on all of the socials. We have Facebook, X, Instagram at @NoToProtect, and my contact information is there as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. We appreciate that presentation and all the information that you shared, Renee. We are excited now to turn our attention to the questions that our audience has submitted. Please continue to post questions as we read these out to our presenters today. So let's see here. Let's start with, can you provide current information on the dangers of children online and ways that parents can help to prevent this?
Jennifer, I'm happy to jump in here. So some of the things that Secret Service is seeing through the statistics that NCMEC provides us, one of the big things is online enticement, and that's going to be where a child is engaging with someone online they believe to be that they may not know, but it could be an adult that's trying to bring them out of their home, or they're trying to get them to come and meet them outside of the home. So that's one thing, online enticement. Sextortion is a really big one that we're seeing cases with. It doesn't have to be a young male, but 300% increase from 2024 to present through the stats that NCMEC is showing us, that young men 13 to 17 are being targeted. And I think Renee spoke, right at the beginning of that case that, our young men are being targeted, not to say that young women aren't, but that they are being targeted in the sextortion pieces. And then something else that Renee spoke to is that generative AI. And, what we're saying is, even if it was created through artificial intelligence and it's depicting a child sexual abuse material, that's still child sexual abuse material. Whether it's a real child or it was created via AI, it's still child sexual abuse material.
Brittany, that is such important information. Could you please, for our audience, define sextortion?
Yeah. So sextortion would be where, let's just go with what I was saying with a young male. He might be on Call of Duty. He might be on Discord, and he's playing a game with someone. And let's say it's a female that he thinks he's speaking to. The female might say, "Hey, you're so cool. You're so great at this game. Let's take this to another platform. Let's go to WhatsApp, some end-to-end decrypted. Maybe they'll take it to Snapchat, which is popular with youth, and let's talk there." And from there, the text messages might become more aggressive. And we're talking, young men ages 13 to 17. Hey, send me a photo of yourself, some kind of nude or sexual image, and I'll send one back to you. And this young man might think that he is talking to a bodacious babe that lives right across the street. So why not? Why not share this image with this girl that lives right down the street? Once that image is sent, the perpetrator is not a bodacious babe down the street. It's in fact some adult somewhere else, and they are going to aggressively, very quickly start sextorting, extorting, financially extorting this young child, saying, if you don't send me money, whether it's via Cash App, gift card, any type of funds to this bank account, I'm going to take this photo. I'm going to send it to all of your family and friends because I see all the people that you're gaming with. So that's essentially what sextortion is. And again, not that it only happens to young men. That's the huge explosion of a trend, but it can happen to our young ladies as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We also have a couple of questions here about your trainings. Do you conduct external trainings to countries outside of the United States?
Yeah, I can take that. So we sure will. We have a global footprint, and we have attaché offices around the world. So we are happy to do them anywhere. It doesn't just have to be in America. For the parents and trusted adults, we will do those virtually. We always prefer to do the younger audiences in person just for, the connection and being there. But we do offer parents and trusted adults virtually. But like I said, we have a global footprint, so we're happy to offer them around.
Great. You mentioned earlier in the presentations AI. Can you talk about AI generated impact? There are some laws that are saying that because it's AI, it's not real and there isn't a means or an actual person to investigate or protect the victim from.
So I know Brittany had mentioned it a little earlier, saying that it doesn't matter, even if it is AI, if they are using it to depict a child in any type of sexual situation, it is still illegal. And kind of going to the sextortion, I have a case that could tie all of them together when there was somebody pretending to be that bodacious babe and asking the guys to send pictures back and forth. This was an AI video, and any of the conversation would kind of go back and forth, that it would look like it was interactive. And then we had a young man who refused to send these pictures. And then they took his face, because it was a video chat, and they put it on an explicit image and then said, now look, we have you, we're doing this. Fortunately, this young man was super strong, and he knew that he could go to parents and trusted adults, and he was comfortable because he had close relationships with local law enforcement. And there was that exit strategy I talked about in my presentations. He had a great exit strategy, and we were able to move forward on that. But even if it is AI, it is still illegal.
Thank you. We have a lot of interest around the ambassador program. Could you speak to the process of becoming an ambassador?
Great. So our ambassador program is specifically for Secret Service, but never fear. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, if you go to their website, they have something, it's called CEP. I believe it's Community Education Partnership. So if you are in, let's say, Iowa, and you don't have to be necessarily law enforcement, but you can sign up to be, and I say let's have everybody from this chat go out and sign up to be an ambassador via NCMEC, or I know iGuardian is also specific to HSI, but the more people that we have that are trained, that give this information out into across the country, across the globe, we can have a better impact in preventing victims. So if you are a member of the community and you want to give these presentations, you can go to NCMEC's website. There is a community outreach education partnership, CEP, and you can sign up to receive training through that.
Great, thank you. We have a few questions that are talking about different settings in which your material could really help people. So I'm going to ask two of those. The first one is, which of your programs is the best fit for healthcare professionals caring for children? These healthcare professionals may also be parents themselves.
I think both of our programs, like I said, only together can we stop online child exploitation. So, I mean, have us both. There's never enough information. We can't talk about this enough. That's why we partner with these other agencies, because we can't arrest our way out of these crimes. We need to come together. We need to talk about it. It's great to have variety. Everybody learns differently. We might all bring a little bit something different to the table. So I would say, like any of that, I am currently working with SANE nurses that do the sexual assault exams to kind of talk about bringing things into their offices and pediatrics. But I think both of our agencies can offer a plethora of amazing resources.
Wonderful. And maybe we can put some of the resources back in the chat. We have a question asking if there are live trainings on exploitation and child abuse. And I know you both have mentioned that. So if we can have somebody put that process back into the chat, and maybe if one of you could say where it is on your website or how they can request that.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick, Renee. So we had a QR code, if that can be dropped in here momentarily, but that'll take you to our landing page. And once you get to our landing page, there's an event request button, just a few fields of information that you can send us. And I'm sure it's an easy way, and Renee can reflect on her program, but you would just send name, address, where you're at in the country, what type of group you want us to present to, whether it's, K through 5, as I was speaking to today, or a PTA. That's how you can find us.
Fantastic. And would you also go out to private companies such as a self-defense company?
Yeah, I think both of our agencies, we're happy. We'll go to any crowd, anyone that wants to hear the good word and that we can help educate. I know it's refreshing for me having a career based on intervention to be on the prevention end of things. So, there's no group that we won't go to. We'd be happy to go anywhere.
Great. I'm going to ask a couple of questions more specific to the children now. What are some of the most effective exit strategies for people to use?
Do you want me to grab this one, Brittany?
If you want to, and then I can follow up.
Yeah, definitely. I think number one, knowing that you're not alone is really important, that we're talking to our kids about this and that they're not going to be in trouble. And then it's just stopping everything right where it is. It's behind the screen. No matter what they are saying, it's okay to stop, disconnect. Now, don't delete, be able to walk away, save it, because then people like Brittany or myself or anyone from our agencies can help, save it, walk away from it, tell a parent, trusted adult. And again, there is law enforcement and we are out there to help them. They're never going to be in trouble with us, and that, we believe them and we want to hear their story, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that we're going to help them get there.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Renee. Can you imagine a world where there's a perpetrator that all they do day in and day out is try to get to our kids? So for the elementary school age children, we're going in and we're giving them tangible thoughts. So you see something online that maybe makes you feel our keywords are sad, scared, or confused, or your emotions, you don't know how to identify that. So if you see that on a physical phone, you can take it and you can turn it over and you can walk and you can talk to a trusted adult. If it's on a web browser, you can hit the back button. If it's on your computer, you can hit the power button. So for the younger kiddos, we're giving them those little tangible things that they know how to do. I know how to turn the power off. I know how to walk away. I know how to flip a device over. And that would be their exit strategy. And then we reinforce, go talk to a trusted adult so that they can help you work out what it is that you just experienced.
Great. And I know you mentioned that you asked the kids to jot down some questions to engage them. Do you see themes with what the children are asking you?
Absolutely. So a lot of them are always scared. Will I get arrested if I do X, Y, and Z? What will happen? Will they know who it is? Is everyone going to know my name? Like those types of things. So that's why it's important that we get out into our communities and can talk about this, because I can look them in the eye and say, you're not going to get arrested. This is not what we're doing. Number one, we don't arrest minors. But number two, we are there because they could potentially be standing up for so many other young people. And we really want to say that, like, and I'll always say, you don't want to be the bully, you don't want to be the bystander, be an upstander. So for them coming forward and being able to speak to us, like that could be helping so many people. So there's a lot of kids worrying about what's going to happen. Also, can you make the picture go away forever? I know Brittany talked about take it down, which is amazing, but we can't control every single image. So that's something. Once you send something, it's out there. And of course, if we know where it is, then we can work with take it down. We can work with other resources to get it taken down. But once it leaves your fingertips, it's really out of your control. So there's a lot of concern about that. And then, people always want to know, well, this doesn't happen here, right? There's a lot of questions about like, or tell me something that's happened there. Again, why we weave in local case examples, because so many people see it as, is it a Lifetime movie or is it something that's just going to be on there? But it's in all of our own backyards, and these crimes don't discriminate. And it's really important to talk about, the realness of that.
Thank you. And because it's happening earlier and earlier, what age would the dangers of sextortion be explained to children?
So I'll jump on that real quick, Renee. So again, and I know that iGuardian does the same thing, but we talk in very age-appropriate language. So I'm not talking to a kindergartner about a sext or sending a nude image, or I'm not talking about sextortion. So, but you can still use age-appropriate language where their brains can understand. So, for instance, with the Into the Cloud, we would say if you saw an inappropriate image, if you sent an inappropriate image, and sometime when I'm talking to, let's just say, second graders, I'll say, what do you think an inappropriate image is? And you get all the popcorn, but some of the kids know, they'll say maybe a naked photo, or maybe it's somebody flipping off the camera. So their little minds know what we're speaking to, like what is something that's inappropriate. But we don't go into that deep of language until for us, it's not until junior high and high school. And obviously the parents, we're straight talking to the parents, like, this is what's happening.
Great. We have a couple of questions specific to certain platforms. One is, what kind of parental controls or settings can be enabled for online games such as Minecraft or Roblox?
So I had said that we have those resources. There's a resource, and I believe it was dropped into the chat, that kind of breaks down those heavy hitter apps and platforms. It will take you right to the controls. But when we're talking, the Minecraft and Roblox, there is a chat ability, which is always concerning, because if somebody can have access to our kids on there, if they don't have it as friends only or people like that they've accepted, that means more and more people can have access. And that's when we're seeing the trends of them being moved over to kind of less benign type platforms, when you'll see them move them to other places or to private messaging, things like that. So that's what our parental controls are going to be focusing on. Also, location capabilities. In our presentations and our resources, we'll break it down with the different apps, where to look to shut off location, whether it's while they are being active or location on photos that are being posted, anything like that. Those are all concerns to have.
Great, thank you. A couple more access to your resources questions. Is there a cost to hold some of these events and trainings?
I know Renee said, but we love it's free 99. So this is something that as the federal government, we're able to really go back into the local community and provide this resource for free. It's I know as well as iGuardian, but this is something that our agencies take very seriously, and that we want to pour back into the local community. We want to give back this resource, free 99.
Thank you so much. Thank you for answering all of these questions. We're going to have to take this last minute to close out this amazing webinar. This webinar will be archived. Thank you to all of the attendees and those who have placed questions into the chat for us. We would like you to please fill out our brief evaluation. It's really helpful to us to understand what was helpful to you today, what type of information you would like to continue to receive so that we can address your needs. Please visit our Children's Safety Network website for more information and follow us on social media. Thank you very much, Brittany and Renee, for all of your hard work, all of your information today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.